Discovering your purpose. What is your purpose? What does that process look like? Well, it's a journey. It's an evolution. It's a growth adventure. When we're looking for our purpose, very often we're asked, when we're young children, playing in the sandbox or at the water table or at the beach, what do you want to be when you grow up? Sometimes we just volunteer the information. When I grow up, I want to be an astronaut, a doctor, a lady, a man, a dancer, an acrobat. And the list goes on and on. At that young and early stage, when we're full of imagination, our purpose seems so clear because our imagination has no boundaries. As we get older and we start to see and look and observe what adults around us are doing, looking as miserable as they are, many of them, adulting, then we start to develop a sense of nervousness and anxiety about, well, what do I want to be when I grow up? What can I do that will allow me to become independent and to be grown up? Well, I'm here to say it's a process. It's a process and it's a step-by-step, take your time kind of moment. One thing that I can tell you for myself when I was younger, trying to figure out my process, if I were to sum that up, that journey, I would sum it up as a hot mess. I thought that I wanted to go into sciences because when I was in school, I was great. I won the physics award. So I thought that must mean that I've got to do something in science. And so I applied for a science program. Within 7, 8, 10 months, I felt like I was banging my head against a concrete wall. I didn't like it. It made me very unhappy. But it was a profession that, had I pushed through, would have been a lucrative profession. Lucrative by standards of the material world. But my heart and soul were not in it. And so I did stop. I stopped thinking that I would become some form of scientist. I continued the program, and I was in such despair. At some point, someone had said to me, why don't you become a teacher? And I thought, a teacher? You mean working with children, students? That's something that I had done for the previous 6, 7, 8 years of my life. And at that point, I believe I was about 17 years old. So when I say 6, 7, or 8 years, yes, my mother was a teacher, and I would always be made to go into her classroom and help her support different activities for her students. And so this was almost like, I guess, a hobby for me, just something I did to make my mother happy. And so when someone suggested that I become a teacher, I was like, that doesn't sound like a career. That's something I do for fun. That's something I do just to, I guess, pass the time. And it was so easy. It didn't make sense to me at the time that becoming a teacher, influencing and affecting other students, people's lives, was something that was destined to be my purpose.